What's up, everybody? Good morning. I'm here with a picture of Dan. I'm not sure where he's at the moment, but he's going to be hopping on here a little bit late today. So figured I would start off without him. I actually started pretty close to on time, which is progress. Hope everybody out there is doing well. A lot of things to discuss this week. A lot of drama out there in the crypto land. That's okay. It comes with the territory. Seems like the big discussion this week was about the difficulty adjustment. Ergo's difficulty adjustment is a little bit different than most proof of work chains that GPU miners are familiar with. It's averaged out over 8 epochs, and each epoch is 1,024 blocks. So that gives us kind of a large floating average over time, riding over the kind of spike that we saw post-merge, still working its way out. I'm sure that once we float past that spike that we saw, it's almost 400 terahash, things will even out. That's created a hard environment for miners. The simple way to put it is there's a ton of mining equipment in the world that was being paid to work. Ethereum leaving proof of work left a huge gap in the space. I had like 95% of the revenue that was used to pay miners to run rigs. And so markets are going to reset. There's too many miners out there looking for work. And what happens when you have a job market that is full of people looking for work? They compete against each other, and they drive down prices, right? And so profitability is taking a hit across proof of work. It's a difficult situation. There's been some complaints about the difficulty adjustment. We're not Ethereum, where it's easy to say, hey, there's a problem, fix it. But that kind of centralizes power, right? We get back to the Ethereum model that we just got away from. I get that people out there are struggling, profitability sucks, but it's something that we certainly have the mind share and capacity to put a potential solution in place. And we've created 2 channels in our Ergo forum, which tends to be the place where the community congregates and discusses ideas. So those of you out there, please join. You're welcome to give feedback. You're welcome to collect data. That's the right way to build, right? Reactionary, short-term thinking doesn't work well. Long-term strategic planning and understanding of the situation, I think, will serve us better long-term. And the reality is, my recommendation is miners kind of need to forget the Ethereum proof of work era, because it's gone, right? It's just gone. It's not coming back. We need to move forward. And I think we have the tools, technology, and community to really take advantage of the opening that's been created for GPU mineable proof of work. But that's something that you can't market to. You got to build, right? There's a lot of cheap marketing in crypto that really doesn't have follow through. And that burns out really quick. Versus if we build solid technology, solid use cases, build things the right way, that'll last. So long-term vision here is going to be important moving forward. Now, we did have our developer update. That happens every Wednesday. Anybody in the community that's on our Discord can hop on there and look at what's happening in the ecosystem. There's a lot of open source code. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of good development underway. And we also do a weekly video every Sunday for those of you that don't want to read. Some of you may want to watch that, or perhaps put it on in the background, listen to audios. It's a good way to catch up, follow all the progress, development that's happening in the community. We also have an upcoming ErgoHack, which is kind of like our, community Olympics, right? Where we get a lot of developers together and say, okay, let's build in one direction. The theme of this ErgoHack is miners and minting. So there's a ton of potential tools, use cases, frameworks that can be built out and explored. We always put together a idea incubator, and I think that's a great way for community members with no developer experience that have good ideas to hop on and contribute, right? Because a good idea, well, is a good idea at the end of the day, right? It's just a matter of connecting that idea with the skills to bring it to market, to build it, to put it out there. And our past Ergo hacks have really created some neat frameworks in the ecosystem that, long term, I think will create a lot of value, and in many cases already have. And some of those actually came from community members that were not developers. So looks like Dan's hopping on somewhat soon. I'm sure he's going to have an update once he gets here. For now, I'll start taking some questions. So it looks like Dan is joining. I'm not sure where his audio is, though.
Oh, his audio is here. His video is kind of messed up right now.
Yeah, we're looking at a picture of you. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's me and my most beautifulness of beautifulness. Just give me 1 second here, guys. All right, here it is. Here I am. There I am. Yes, my video is the most. It's a great video. It's the best video of any videos out there. It's huge. All right, Joe. So what do we have going on today? We have something exciting, something about mining, perhaps we'd like to talk about.
Yeah, I've kind of covered that. I actually made a video with a hobbyist miner. He reached out and he was like, "Hey, can you give us some clarity in the situation? There's a lot of drama out there." So I made a video with him last night. A nice guy reached out and kind of gave me a platform to just speak with a level head. Sometimes social media in crypto is a little bit ridiculous in terms of like drama, but
a little bit, Joe. I mean, you've been on social media long enough. A little bit. Come on.
Yeah, I kind of call it the Bluebird Asylum, to be honest. Like people get trapped there, and they take on the madness. I kind of observe more than anything, but I can understand concerns, right? I think that it's not a concern that's without solution, so I don't see that as an issue. I look at our community in terms of like the technical ability and our ability to collect and deliver data. So if there's an issue, it'll get fixed. Like I don't see what all the drama is about short term, other than unprofitability, but that's relatively universal at the moment. That's just understanding
and that's temporary.
Yeah,
look, that's temporary. Look, okay. So just to give you guys a perspective, so as you know, as I've touted many times, I've been around since the 90s in the professional IT field, since the 90s, since like right when the .com boom was just getting up, right? So I got out of high school in 96. I, took a few years of college, and right about then, that's when all the internet.com boom began. And so since I had the skills to do that, I kind of started going to the business side and kind of, well, I don't want to say dropped out of school, but I actually did kind of drop out of college. So I am a college dropout. So we had the .com boom, came to its peak in around 2000, and then the .com crash. And, and really that took at least 5 to 6 years to recover from, at least. So, if you think about it, really, actual long-term profitability came to be, and internet companies came to be probably around, say, 2005, 2006. So right around when Google was kind of getting started, all the all the new mega giants that are mega giants today, like Amazon, like Google, all these getting started around that time, right? So because during the dot-com boom, Amazon was just an online book company. They weren't the Amazon of today. It's like the book website. Why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this is because the cycles that we're in the crypto market are enough paired, even the IT field as a whole. I mean, we, in the IT field and the dot-com field, which was also at a certain point pretty fringe, we had to wait like half a decade for profitability to really come back into the market, the value, people investing in. I mean, Facebook came around, right? Facebook came around 2006, 2007, right? But they were around for several years before that. It was only around 2006, 2007, 2005 is when they started being able to find, investment capital. So, yeah, just to kind of back you up there, Joe. So we're non-profitable right now. We're not profitable. In 6 months, we're going to be profitable again. That's nothing. And any kind of investment of this sort, and as we stated before, you have to really look at it from a long-term perspective. In a long-term perspective, do you believe that this is a profitable mining venture for you? Is Ergo built to be profitable? Is protocol built to be profitable? Is the core protocol developed? The mining mechanism is developed to be profitable? Yes, it is. And if you believe that it is, and you believe as strongly as we do that this is the way, short-term price movements are just a way for you to, kind of get back and really accumulate your power, your knowledge, and to get ready for the bigger runs. So it's really short-term stuff. You really have to think about it long-term. In the long-term, believe that the way Ergo is set up, it's a very, very profitable, very an environment that's really good for mining businesses. So just, guys, hang it in there. I mean, these things, they happen, but they're short-term. In the long term, we are built to be huge, and we will be.
I think it's a lack of experience to some. It's just a product of like the cyclical nature. There was a ton of people that came into crypto as a whole 2020. There's a ton of people that picked up mining since 2020. So this is a new experience for them, right? And having, let's say, kind of like a bear market, or you see this in all types of markets, whether it's like the stock market, real estate, whatever. You have these trends where things go up and people think, oh my goodness, it's risk free. All you can do is make money. And then guess what? Reality hits, right? That's life. I can't solve that. That's literally like the nature of markets. So everybody, I always say, manage your risks, think, plan ahead. And, if you trade well. If you mine, good luck. But the reality is there is risk in everything. And, we did have a long period where mining was just profitable everywhere. And that was great. Well, that's not where we are today. So, you kind of have to adapt and plan based on the current situation. It is what it is.
Yeah, just remember that it's temporary. That's what you have to remember. You might not have been here the entire cycle of when it was extremely profitable, and you might just kind of came in on the tail end of it, and now we're in a situation we're in right now, and you're kind of feeling like, well, was the point? Well, the point is to look at the long-term picture, as I keep saying. And in the long term, we are set up in a much better position than pretty much any POW blockchain out there for profitability in mining and for sustainability of that profitability. And just invest. It's just like with anything. You have to invest in the future and the vision. And once in a while, you just have to kind of hang in there. And that's what we ask you to do, just to hang in there. The people that are right now, hang in there. And yeah, Joe, as you said, we did have an influx of a lot of people that came in during the last bull run. And I look around and in Ergo, I mean, Cardano as well, and just sometimes I kind of look around and think, who are these people? I mean, not in like a Doris, but I'm just like, wow, who are these people? I know the community, but I don't know all these people. And, you just kind of start looking, checking them out and everything. And yeah, they came in the past year and a half. They're really excited about the ecosystem. They're really excited about what we're doing. They're still green. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but you just have to remember that if you are an OG like myself and like Joe, so you kind of have to sit back and say, okay, not everybody's in the same place as you are. When you were in their place, you were also panicky. When I just got into crypto and I just got a couple of $1,000 into crypto, and then it started taking a dump, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Why? I went through that whole panic. I went through the whole, sending messages to my friends asking, hey, do you think it's going to go up? Do you think it's going to go up? Come on. What do you think? What is going to happen in the week? What's going to happen in 10 days? And then, one of my friends stopped answering me. The other one's just like, I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is. And those of you, the reason why I'm saying this is those of you that have been in the space for a while, and you come across this, the newer, greener people that are in the space, don't lose patience with them. Just kind of guide them. A lot of them have good intention. A lot of them really do want to learn, but you have to really understand that they did come in a certain point that is really kind of the only world they're familiar with. They might only be familiar with the bear market or the tail end of a bull market, going into the bear market and getting wrecked and everything that they've just put their money into, and then being really pissed off, but still be like, look, I think that this is a great thing we're doing, but God, my wallet just looks, terrible. I look rugged. And you really have to give support to people like that, not lose patience with them. And in the end, some of them will, leave. The good ones will stay, and we'll just build bigger and stronger.
Yeah, I have to say, always be patient with people. You never know when there's a good character just having a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into the question.
Absolutely. Well, just a little quick update. So from my end, again, working on new relationships for exchange listings and creating more liquidity. Have a couple of really good proposals on the table right now. Joe and I are actually going to be, when we meet in Las Vegas for the first time, by the way, IRL, and then in Colorado, we will be kind of strategizing and discussing what direction to take these opportunities. And as they develop, we will kind of let you know more about what's going on. Still really early, but a lot of great stuff happening in the background. I know you just kind of have to take our word for it, but, take our word for it. Things are definitely not looking desperate in the back. We're definitely working on some big stuff. We have some great things brewing, and really things that really will take where we're supposed to be. And that is, at the top, the top of the POW click, POW blockchains. Beyond that, just again, working away at the education curriculum. And also, we had some really good responses for the fireside chat for CNFT Con that Joe and I are going to be doing. So we had a really nice put. And those of you who haven't had a chance to do so, please join the Telegram group. I can retweet it. Or if you have a couple of minutes, just kind of dig through my Twitter, it's there. Or just ping me anywhere. I'll give you the link to join the group. Yeah, we'd really like to hear your input and what you'd like us to cover. Again, we will have some of the big Ergo projects there on site with us, as well as remotely. So we'd like to cover as much as possible for you guys, make it as useful and robust as possible for you guys. So please give us your input, and we would be happy to assimilate it into what we're going to be doing. One more thing I actually would like to ask from the community, and this is something that I already spoke to you about, Joe, and you kind of gave me some good resources. Again, what I would like to get input on is what matters to you as an Ergonaut for the people coming to the ecosystem to know. What do you want them to know first? Would you like for these people to learn first? The first thing you would like them to learn, the second thing as they enter the ecosystem. This is really important in structuring this coursework that we're going to be doing. And so, like I said, it's one of our vehicles to bring more people into the ecosystem and mass adoption. So basically, because that is how you gain mass adoption, you put it into the sphere of where education is already mass adopted, and you introduce these new curriculums into it. And this is why this is a very effective. But with that said, we already have a lot of incredible content out there, and I would really like to assimilate it and kind of fuse it into the curriculum that's being created already, plus get input from you guys, what matters to you, so that we create something that's not kind of, cold and soulless, but really has, captures the spirit of Ergo, since Ergo is going to be the blockchain that they're going to be learning blockchain. Again, so please reach to me through our Telegram group or any other means available, and I'm more than happy to take your input on that. That's about it for me. Joe, what do you got?
I'm good. Let's get to questions.
Let's do it.
A lot of people here today that are asking. First question is always good. How resilient do you think Ergo is for proof of work regulations and bans? That's one thing I like about GPU mineable proof of work, is that, it has the ability to have a pretty small and movable footprint. In terms of like governments creating quote unquote wars on things with profit incentive, that fails, right? History has shown that just fails. It doesn't work. It's like a war on crime, war on drugs, whatever. When there's a economic incentive there, people are going to take advantage of that, right? It is true that with ASIC mining, you do have a bigger footprint, so there's potential. Let's just say easier to identify and kind of eliminate larger farms. But when it comes to small home miners and publicly available general purpose parts, the only thing I can say is good luck.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Am I still there, Joe? I think. Okay. I thought I froze for a second there, and not for the law. Just to back you up on that, before you go to the next question, it's difficult. We touched this before on when you were talking about shutting down Ergo Mixer. How do you shut it down? We can go and yell at people on Twitter to shut down all their nodes. That's about all we can do, because decentralized. Well, here it's also decentralized. We're talking about decentralized network. How are you going to regulate that? It was the same thing with trying to regulate the internet. Take it for what it is, right? So I'm not saying that everything on the internet is positive, right? And there are some harmful things on the internet, obviously, right? But did it find this critical mass of, being more useful than harmful, much more useful than harmful? Yes, it did, right? Did the government try to regulate it? Yes, it did. Do some governments still try to regulate it? Yes, they do. There's different governments that try to block the internet, try to censor it or whatever. In the end, they all fail. In the end, it's all still very siloed. It's all very regional, right? So regulations, how do you regulate a decentralized ecosystem that's worldwide? The answer is you can't. You can try, you can pick at little pieces of it. You might be successful in a microcosmic sense, but on the macro level, you will always fail. The governments will always fail to do this. And really, it is our responsibility as an ecosystem to not just kind of say, well, screw you guys, we're going to do what we want. We got to be responsible with it, right? Because if we want to regulate ourselves, if we want to be the ones, writing the narrative, we have to take responsibility with it. And yeah, we need to be responsible with what we do, right? But that's to each their own, right? We just need to reach a critical mass of being a lot better at doing good stuff than shitty stuff. And I think in the long term, everything's going to be all right.
All right. Next, we have a question from GazaBot. What are your thoughts on Basel hard fork, and will this impact Ergo in any way by adding data inputs and other Ergo features? I personally think that it will help advance extended UTXO for both chains. Well, what's the countdown on Basel anyway? It should be today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is in like 8 hours, I think. Let me check. I think it's something like 8 hours left. Charles tweeted about it not too long ago. If my phone wakes up a little bit, 9 hours to go an hour ago. So 8 hours left. I think 2100 UTC, right? That goes live at 2100 UTC, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So coming soon.
I think it's going to be. Data inputs is something that started with Ergo. We've supported that in smart contracts since 2019. Cardano's catching up. And what does that mean? It means that frameworks and extended UTXO in both ecosystems, there's enough overlap that it really creates kind of like a joint mind share in that one aspect of development. So having a bigger mind share just allows things to evolve faster. I'm, excited to see Cardano catch up with us in that sense. And I think that having the size of their community is definitely going to be a boost. And I think a lot of what's been built on Ergo is already a boost in terms of them, preparing and designing kind of for their newest upgrades. So there's a lot of overlap and collaboration there that's potentially possible. It's already somewhat in motion with something like Spectrum. But that's great to see. I hope everything rolls out well. And I'm excited to see how things evolve moving forward. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it will have an effect on a couple of things, a positive effect on a couple of things. Like Spectrum, and the Rosen Bridge, things of that nature, cross-chain. And as we all know, a lot of the tech that's on Cardano was actually first launched on Ergo. I mean, I personally really would love to see how, and I don't really have straight answers for this, I mean, we can only speculate, but I would like to see how this will affect the Ergo ecosystem, because we do have cross-chain building going on right now, and we'll have more, and it's just ramping up. Vassal introduces a lot of new functionality that will help build things better, like pipelining and such. And I'd also like just to see how it affects our kind of cross-chain culture, because it'll give more opportunity for projects to build cross-chain. And I think that the Cardano and Ergo ecosystem, as I said before many, many times, is very energetic. We're very symbiotic, and that's what makes us strong. And so I would love to see what happens with these tools, how we can build these new tools. So it's up to you guys. Maybe even have something in ErgoHack. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
All right, back to the popular topic of today. Will the difficulty not just spike again if the hash rate jumps after the difficulty lowers? Are we back to the same crappy situation, potentially alienating the loyal miners? Well, the first thing I have to say is anybody that speaks with absolute knowledge of the future is an idiot, right? And so the best thing that we can do, in my opinion, is to collect data moving forward, right? And if that is an issue, we have a working group in place that is formulating an EIP to plug in a potential solution. And we have another group that is tracking that. I know there's a lot of people that are especially on the mining influencer side that tend to have this belief they know the future, but then again, a lot of them aren't doing very well at the moment mining, so you have to take that into account as well. Let's collect data, let's build the right way, and if there's a problem, let's come up with a good solution. This is not difficult in my opinion, it's just somewhat reactionary based on hard times, and that's understandable, right? It gets back to what I was saying earlier. Sometimes good people are find themselves in hard times, and all you can do is be patient, forgive them.
Yeah. And I think it was it you that was saying this before? I heard somebody say it today. You also have to remember, just basically reflecting what you just said, you have to remember that a lot of these mining operations, the miners are businesses, right? And once you hit hard times or harder times, emotions fly. I believe that the people that are truly, and many are truly into what we're doing, miners that are into what we're doing, they will stay with us because they will see past these temporary quote unquote issues, right? They might be frustrated. That's okay. We're all human, right? And as Joe said, don't get pissed off at them if they're not kind of as calm and chill as you are on things, right? But in the end, I do have strong faith in our mining community and as a whole, and I think that we will work past this, and the loyal miners will stay with us. The loyal meaning people that are really understand what it's all about. And from the Ergo Foundation side, as I keep saying, we're here for you. We're here to work for you. You are our employer in a sense. And so we will do all we can to alleviate these issues from however we can, right? But also you have to understand that this is a decentralized ecosystem, and a lot of these things really have to be worked out through the community. So it's going to have to be a combination of things. But again, as a community, I think we will figure a way out of this.
Yep, definitely. We got a question from GazaBot. What are the differences between Ergo's original emission with smart contracts compared to Bitcoin's emission contract? Well, if you actually look at the history of Bitcoin having like the encoded emission, it has the potential to create inflation bugs. That's something that at one point, Bitcoin had to correct. Having things pre-minted into a emission contract created a verifiable proof of no pre-mine, meaning, it's all on-chain and transparent. And it also eliminates inflation bugs. Inflation bugs have shown up in multiple proof of work projects over the years. And so it is a transparent and fair and safe and smart way to start the emission, in my opinion. So anybody right now can view that original emission box and verify proof of no pre-mine. It's on chain and transparent. Next question. The Raven Ergo beef is real at the moment. It's hilarious. It's bear market time, right? And so when
bear market beef.
Yeah, it's like when food gets scarce, right? Now everybody's attacking each other. I don't know. I don't take it too seriously. Most of the time when it's like Twitter fighting, there's a lot of lack of information on both sides anyway. So I don't know. It just is what it is. I guess we can watch and laugh, and maybe there's no such thing as like bad publicity, but I I don't know. If you want to do that, have fun, keep it classy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that Glasgow and Alex have responded to this beef really well. It's just it's really just kind of just a lack of, I don't know if it's understanding, if it's selective reading, if it's selective comprehension, but it's selective something, because the flaws that are being pointed out are just like, no, guys, that's not how it is. And what was it? Were we keeping secret, Joe? We're keeping something secret, right? How native assets were actually pre-mined, something like that. Yeah, it's
too early for
it's ridiculous. It's in the white paper. Alex said it's in the white paper. How is it secret if it's in the white paper and they weren't pre-mined? So anyway, as Joe said, just keep it classy. The information is out there. Go to Mark Glasgow, go to Alex, go to our sources. If you run into any of these situations, where people from the Raven side or from any other side are just kind of throwing these things out at you, we have a reason for you to look at, to cite, to make sure that you're not just kind of doing your word against theirs type of thing. You actually have information to back these things up, and I think that is the best way to settle these arguments. Because social media arguments are just, it's like adults arguing like 5-year-olds sometimes. In under 200 characters or whatever it is, and on Twitter, I forgot how much it is. So just keep it classy, and then know that we have resources for you to back up your claims with.
All right. What's next? Adam Joseph asks, what is profitable at the moment? I have no idea. I literally just woke up and I'm here. I'm sure you can go on What to Mine and look, right? And the reality is sometimes I don't know, when people are in hard times, they tend to throw like risk assessment out the window. So I imagine, there's a lot of spec mining going on, and it's to some degree, it can be profitable. You got to manage your risk. And you also have to know that, I don't think that you could look at YouTube in terms of like trading influencers, right? I don't think everybody has your best interests at heart as an individual. I think there are a lot of people that park their rigs somewhere, mine a bit, and then try to call in the crowd. And, I don't know what to call that other than inviting exit liquidity, which is somewhat shitty, but it happens in crypto. It happens on the trading side and it happens on the mining side. So the only thing I can say about profitability is you have to manage risk, right? You have to figure that out as an individual, dive into projects, dig into them, see if there's actual code or if it's just another, fork or, it's something that, I don't know, long-term viability needs to be seriously questioned, especially, in hard times. I understand that, when people are stressed, sometimes they look for that lottery ticket of return, and that can be dangerous. So everybody has to figure out their own situation, their own risk assessment. I'm not here to direct that. I would just say you need to do your own research. You need to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're in a bear market, right? And so in POW, I doubt that anything that is worth anything is profitable right now in the short term, right? As Joe said, you can go on, you can go online and check what is profitable right now to mine. But one thing to always remember, and and this, I see this a lot in crypto. You have some people just trying to pump a project, and this is not just for mining; it's just in general for liquidity, right? You have some project, and somebody's like, "Oh, this coin is just awesome," and they're super profitable, and it just went up 4,000 million, 100 gazillion percent. But the volume is like $3,000, so. It might have gone 4x, but You have no exit liquidity on this. So if you're looking for short-term profitability and to basically mine and cash out, you got to think about stuff like that, right? And it's not just with mining, but with any project. You know, like I said, I see people show these projects, and then I look at them and I say, okay, one might have gone up 5x, but you guys got like $10,000 in volume. I mean, you know, if any sells, like one person that has any amount that will sell, your project is done. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the picture with any coin, any POW coin right now that can brag about being super profitable in these kind of market conditions. So again, it's up to you, as Joe said, but understand that no liquidity means no exit liquidity means you can't cash out. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million, billion of them. You can't cash out. It doesn't exist. I mean, it does exist, but what do you think for you?
Yeah. All right, Dan, can you guys talk a little bit more about CNFTCon and Rare Bloom, probably as well?
Sure. Right. So CNFTCon. The EF and Zengate are going to have a nice big, meaningful booth there. We've been working with the organizers, and they're very cool people. Marco and Ada Girl and Nick and then everybody. It's just been really, really, really cool and really helpful. And we're gonna have we're basically gonna have a lot of showcasing of Ergo projects. There's going to be people out of different ecosystems over there, not just the Cardano and Ergo ecosystem, exploring NFTs, and not just NFTs, but just in general ecosystem projects. So again, an excellent place for us to really show what we have and what we have to offer as an ecosystem. So what we're planning is kind of a showcase day, and then we're also planning, as I said, a fire chat day. And the fire chat day is going to be us featuring projects where me and Joe are just going to be doing these fire chats off and on all day long. We'll feature as many projects as possible. We'll have a couple of things to debut over there as well. I know I will from the Zengate side. That is going to be really exciting for you guys. We're also going to have a couple of really cool giveaways and contests going on over there. And Joe's looking like, the what, Dan? Yeah, I haven't really talked to Joe about this too much, but we will. It's nothing crazy, Joe. Don't worry about it.
Throw me in, I'll swim. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. See, that's why I love Joe. You can tell him to go. You can tell him to go and hack up. Penguins in Antarctica. He's like, yeah, just give me a machete and point me in the way. It's like, that was kind of a bloody analogy. Anyway, no penguins hacking. Just Joe's a good sport. He's always down for whatever. Overall, CNFTCon is going to have pretty much the entire Cardano ecosystem there. Plus, there's going to be people from other ecosystems coming. We have people from Ethereum coming. We have people from the ecosystem coming. So again, a lot of opportunity to really show and communicate and do kind of more inner ecosystem mingling, right? And I just think it's going to be great. Myself, I will be speaking there at the conference, and again, it's going to be a great opportunity for me to really kind of get to talk to anybody who's going to be there in person. I'd really love to meet you guys in person if I haven't done so already, and to kind of get your input on into everything Ergo and what we can do better, what we are doing good, what we're not doing good, and just kind of get your honest feedback. Rare Bloom, again, another awesome event. So we're doing that, right, Joe?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. So we are doing that event. We're going to be at Rare Bloom. So Joe is going to be there on the EF side. I'm going to be on the IOG side, but again, we're going to be both present over there. And there's just going to be a lot of really good panels over there, a lot of really good keynotes over there. And Joe's going to be over there. He's going to give us some of his wisdom as well. So really looking forward to that. As far as different ecosystems are concerned, again, we're going to have a lot of opportunity to mingle over there. We have a lot of the major projects coming in there. We have SeaWorld being over there. They're gonna introduce themselves. That's the NFT centric company that has been just put together by Wave Financial, who are the custodians of Sea Fund, the Cardano ecosystem fund. Also, there's going to be Lace, a lot of stuff about Lace. So the Lace wallet developed by Input Output. Alex is going to be there, not our Alex, Alex Appledorn. Our Alex, but our IOG Alex, not Kushti, not that Alex, unfortunately. He's going to be there, and there's going to be again a lot of debuts over there for Lace. Again, something that I hope that the Ergo ecosystem can also embrace, because there's a lot of opportunity there for us to gain exposure to various different ecosystem tools and communities. So again, a great event. I would recommend you attend both, and we will be at both. So hope to see you there.
Yeah, my goal is to take some people from projects across the community and just use them as human shields, right? Because the reality is, it's not about the Ergo Foundation, it's about the Ergo community. And I would love anybody out there that's will give you a voice. And I think that's ultimately the best thing the Ergo Foundation can do is not make it about us, but make it about everybody else. Plus,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a perfect way to put it, Joe. Really, so the reason why I really wanted the Ergo Foundation out there is not to show off the Ergo Foundation. We're not there to kind of show how cool and hip we are and show the E's and the T's and the cool gear and all that stuff. I wanted to be out there because I knew that there's going to be a lot of Ergonauts out there because they're also Cardano people, and it's a really it's a really approachable event. It is very it's very inexpensive to get there, to get in, and so it's going to give us an opportunity to really mingle with the community. That because I keep saying this. I know I keep saying this on the AMAs. I keep saying this on Twitter, on social media. We need more face-to-face interactions, guys. That's just human nature. More live events, more live meetups. I understand that everybody can be all in one place, but we're all over the world, right? And if we just start organizing in that way, and we really start kind of putting faces to names, if you wish to dox yourself, I think that it's going to make a stronger community.
Yep. Super Amoeba is asking, what are your thoughts on the new 40 series? I've heard that maximum wattage is like 1,000 watts, which is nuts, considering, back in the day when like 1070s were cool, they had like a max of 150 watts. So it's a lot of there's a lot of juice you can run through that. It's like almost 6, 7, 1070s and the 40 series. Now in terms of efficiency, I have no idea. I haven't seen any specs. I'm sure, mining at the moment, I don't know whether people just buy old 30 series or 40 series. I have no idea. I haven't seen specs, and costs are, not exactly low, but let's see. That's what else do we got?
What else indeed?
There's a lot of drama around mining. It happens.
Oh, Joe. So where'd you get that hoodie? Because I see people asking about it.
Oh, online. I don't know where. It's online.
You just woke up one day and there it was. It manifested itself.
Yeah. Basically. Looks like Vasil's critical for Spectrum Bridge. I'm excited to see how Vasil, builds out the overlap between communities. That's a big step forward for both ecosystems. There's a lot of opportunity and mind share there. So I know that's something that Spectrum, which is previously ErgoDex, has kind of had on hold. Hopefully, what are we now, approaching 7 hours? Hopefully everything rolls out smooth. I'm pretty sure it will. The Cardano ecosystem does a good job of that. And it's new era, pretty cool times.
Yep, absolutely.
Next question is from Windy Moon. She said, is 5.0 active yet? What are the benefits that it brings? 5.0 has the majority support right now. I imagine it will be activated Q4, probably November. In terms of the applications, we're seeing a lot of improvements in smart contract performance, sometimes 5 to 10 times, which is pretty considerable, considering, we haven't even got into 6.0, which is more the path to scalability. That's going to be coming about post 5.0. So definite smart contract improvements, costing and block inclusion improvements. So things are going to get more efficient. It's a big step forward. I'm looking forward to it. From what I've heard with everybody that currently is running and testing on testnet, things are going very well. So excited to see that. Sometimes, upgrades are slower than people have patience for, but it happens, right? It's a process, and we're doing well in terms of testing and implementing that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's only a question. Well, it's not a question, but it's a good comment that I kind of wanted to touch on, because again, this is just kind of shows how synergetic ecosystems are. So Rico Staines is saying that I think the Cardano R&D is the only way to build sustainable blockchains. Look at projects that don't. Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is look at who created Cardano, who created Ergo, Alex, right? Kushti, one of the top researchers of input output, right? So a lot of the stuff that is actually rolled out on Cardano was researched by him. Right. So we have that same mentality in Ergo. Ergo has the whole research first, science first strategy and fundamentals, because the founder is that guy. Things like this, where they, where they move fast and break things, that culture of moving fast and breaking things. I worked in it, that was Silicon Valley. You can't do that anymore. I mean, you can't do that in blockchain. Your website crashes, your work processor crashes, that's old people talk. But anyway, you know what I mean? MS Office that thing crashes. You're like, ah, shit. Okay, well, maybe I got it saved. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass. You lost some progress. Your infrastructure crashes, not good. Your protocol takes a dump, not good. So that's why you can't keep turning things off and on and hoping that they'll restart the right way. You can't be rolling stuff back too much and relying on, yeah, we fucked up. Okay, we'll just roll it back. It's okay. It's a database, right? You roll databases back. That's what you do with databases, right? You just roll them back. Can't do that. And the way you kind of your insurance policy to make sure things like this happen very, very rarely, if not at all, is research first, science first.
I think there's a lot to be said here in terms of R&D. If you're actually building original solutions, or you're just copy pasta and tweaking existing ones, right? There's a ton of copy pasta tweak in the crypto space where there's like literally nothing new, nothing original. It's just like hashing together old parts from a junkyard saying, let's get it back on the road, right? Versus the actual design from scratch and quality assurance. That's more the Ergo way. I know Cardano does the same thing. That's a lot harder, right? The quick, easy, dirty solution is to take something that already exists, modify it a little bit to fit and get it on the road. And then sometimes that happens with solutions that are, frankly, maybe even out of date, right? And we see that a lot, not just on the blockchain level, but a ton on the application level, where, it's like, oh, this DeFi protocol failed. And then, it did have a nice little jump. So let's fork it and, rename it, rebrand, and go through the same process. That's totally different, in my opinion, than building from scratch with a first principles based approach. Second's a lot harder. Yeah,
it sure does. It sure does. It gets a lot harder. And the thing about it is, so this is actually kind of a funny story, and but it kind of gives you a good perspective about it. So this is before we launched Cardano. I believe it was early 2017, right before we launched, right? And so we were in Malta. We were all in Malta, and this was the first big IOG, or at that point IOHK summit, a company summit, where we got to meet a lot of the people that we were working with for the first time. We kind of got to really, kind of build a bond as a team. And I remember that at that point, I was still, as some of you know, I came into the Cardano ecosystem early on, basically when it just started, a couple of months after the project started, in 2016 as a project manager. And I actually ran the project that created the sales app that did the pre-sale of Cardano. And so after that, I was basically kind of the only, legit project manager at that point, on site. And so what I tried to do is I kind of tried to give people guidance on how to do agile project management, and to, organize things, just to kind of give things structure. And so what I did was I did this whole session with the company, with the development team, about how to, for better Scrum and Agile practices, and Kanban and Scrum practices, and development, what we should do, and all these ideas that I had. And then they asked me, they said, okay, do the same thing with the research department. And I'm like, okay. And so I just kind of try to do that. And the first thing that, and it worked as well, right? Because one of the head researchers came out and said, I understand what Dan is trying to do, but, how do you do an iteration? I mean, what do you tell people to think harder? I mean, it's not quantifiable that way, right? Research is research. You do go through iterations, and but you can't make people think faster and harder. you know, so you can do the same thing. So basically, the reason why I'm bringing this up is, and then kind of Charles, I remember, gave me the evil eyes, like, Dan, you're trying to agile my research team. Don't do that. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's hard to quantify sometimes when you're not really there doing the research, how much time this research takes and what it takes to really develop these things that we are now building on and utilizing and are excited about. It's fucking hard. Okay. It's way above my head, and I'm not the dumbest person in the room. And it sometimes it takes years, but sometimes it has to take years. Right. And, there's this culture still in the block space that really, again, this blockchain already came out with this stuff, or these guys got a bigger TVL, or these guys, yeah, but if they didn't take the same amount of time to research this stuff, I mean, we don't have stupider researchers, researchers are, good people, they're smart people. So it usually takes a certain amount of time to research stuff. If they didn't take that time to research properly and build these things out, then it's shit. It will break. It's not thought through. You have to take the time, and you can't hurry stuff up. And so that's what I'm saying. It's hard for people to quantify that sometimes and get impatient. But the bottom line is that it takes what it takes, and you have to let it be done that way, or else it's just going to mess up. It will.
Yep. Any other questions, then? I guess we're about an hour.
Where about that? Well, all right, guys. Well, listen, it's always great to be able to answer your questions. Please feel free to reach out to me or to Joe with anything. It's like we said, we're not in the best place right now as far as the market, but all of this stuff will pass. Some of you might not have been through one of these cycles before, but we will survive. The Ergo is a strong ecosystem. We will survive. Many won't. Many will crash and burn, and I can guarantee you that. That's what happened in the last bull run. That's what happened in between 2018, mid 2018 and whatever the last bull run, 2021 or whenever it was. The industry will change. Some things will stay. Some things will get better. Some things will fade away. But in the end, just remember what we have here. This is me talking. This is for what, take it for what it is, but I have been doing, professionally been working in blockchain since early 2016. So it's, more than 6 years now. And I've seen what strong projects look like, and I've seen what shitty projects look like. Ergo is a strong project. This is why I wanted to be a part of it. And I believe that we, as a community and as a project, are strong enough to make it to the top and to smoke these times like, it's not even an issue. All right, so guys, stay strong, and remember that we're here for you.
Yeah, learning in the building never stops, everybody. Have a good one.
No, it doesn't.